Coach, first of all, let's recognize and admit Albany's got a pretty fine squad.
Yeah, they're very good. They don't have many weaknesses, and obviously, we kind of said going into the game, our general game plan was, we're going to try to take away 22's left-hand drive, right, and we were going to try to keep Austin from knocking down threes, and we're going to have to live with the reality that they don't really have anybody that's obvious to double off. In Borgeting, we know, he's a big boy inside, so we knew that was going to give us troubles. It was one of them games where we were hoping we were going to kind of be able to neutralize it on the other end by getting by him and, putting people in situations and knocking down threes. And it didn't happen, but like you said, they're a really good team. I think they're a title contender. And I'm, proud of our effort for, battling with them and hanging with them. But at the end of the day, we just weren't quite good enough.
Well, as you talk about a game plan to hold Garrett's, he only had 2 baskets in the first half and for the game.
Yeah, I thought Matthew Waring did a really good job on him of just staying down and discipline that we'll give him the 3, take away the left-handed drive, and then see what happens. I thought that was our general game plan, was to make sure that he wasn't the biggest factor in the game. We knew he wasn't going to score 0 or anything like that. He's too good of a player. But I thought Matthew and others, but for the most part, Matthew did a really good job on him. And we knew that they had the size advantage, the strength advantage, and we just weren't really willing to double off. They got multiple guys that could shoot it, and we said, going into it, we're going to try to, hope we can get a charge on Borgeting or something like that, get him in foul trouble. But we really didn't, we weren't prepared to double. And, in reflection, you always regret things and woulda, shoulda, done, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But at the end of the day, you just got to tip your hat, and I'm proud of our effort, and they beat us tonight.
Well, again, with Borgeting, he's 6'5", and he's got some muscle, and he's going to back you down. It's just a tough cover for you, isn't it?
It is, and they got shooters everywhere. If they had one player, you could, you didn't have to guard from 3. You could double and you could front and kind of be creative with some of that kind of stuff, but they don't. Every time we did try to dig and double, they'd kick it out and create an advantage off of that. So, yeah, we didn't have an answer for him inside. It's one of them players that, the last time we played him, I thought we held him in check. We kept him off the glass. We made him work to get his baskets, but he was in foul trouble. He only played 15 games, and tonight he wasn't. So he was, for us, and I haven't watched it back, obviously, but I thought he was the biggest, advantage for them, and he played great. And they credit them for, they were intentional going inside to him.
Yeah, and they're good at it. What I like is the timing on the play is always right there.
Right, and it's tough when Garrett's is the passer because it's like, okay, our plan on him is to not pressure him, right? It's to stay off of him, so then you're not pressuring the pass. You're not doing anything to help, and Ethan for the most part inside. And if it's Austin, you can't take a step back, right? It's not like they're passing it in with a player that's not good and you can pressure him and try to, disrupt some of the timing. So you just got to, tip your hat, and I credit to them for being disciplined enough to play through their biggest strength, which was, big fella inside.
Mm-hmm. Well, you used the word effort describing the Sauk Center team. Can you kind of expand a little bit more on that?
Yeah, when we really debated, what our game plan was going to be, and in the first half we said we're going at them toe-to-toe, okay, right? It's, one of them games where at times we try to slow it up, but we shot 15 threes in the first half, and we only made 3 of them. And, it's probably a game where you'd probably have to make 7 of them, or 6 of them, to really feel good about the position you're at. But at the end of the day, I am proud of our effort. I thought, it was one of them games where not a lot went our way, right? We shot 2 free throws the whole night, I believe it was. So, that was one of our plans was, hey, we need to get fouls on them and get to the free throw line, and we didn't do that. So, credit to them for being disciplined and physical and strong and in position. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm proud of our effort all season long. It's been a heck of a year. It's been a fun group to have. I don't fault our effort one bit, at all. At the end of the day, it's a make-or-miss league. You got to make shots, and I didn't think we did a great, job of that tonight.
I know you think of, especially in that first half, how many shots rattled in and out for you?
Right, and I give us credit. I think it was obvious we went at them, right? Because we debated for sure. It's like, hey, do you try to hold the ball, right? It's the last time we're ever going to get to with the shot clock coming in next year. And obviously they're a scary team. We told our guys, if this game's in the 50s, we like our odds a lot more than obviously trying to make it a track mate, but I wanted to make it obvious that we were coming at them right off the beginning of the game, and I thought we did, and ultimately we just, like you said, had some shots go in and out. We desperately needed, and I thought we missed a couple inside in a game that you're just desperate for baskets. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that this was a factor, but you sure can tell a difference when you use the shot clock as opposed to, say, tonight, you don't use it.
Yeah, and I prefer the shot clock without a doubt. I'm really excited about it next year. I think it's going to be better for everybody. It's better to coach. It's more fun. Even at the end of the game, like when we cut it to 9 or 11, it's like, God, you got to foul. I don't want to foul, right? I'd rather just play a possession out, and, you're going to have to take a quick 3, and maybe they make 1, and you hit 3, make 1. Hit 3 like the Duluth game, the other game or other night with the women's team. But you can't do that when you got to constantly, foul and so on and so forth. But, yeah, I guess to answer your question, I'm excited for the shot clock. And it is a hard transition, I think, for the teams that played with it all year. Even in our non-conference games, we played with the shot clock, so it's a little bit of difference for us to go out there and say, hey, slow it up. It's kind of in your head that you got to shoot, and that's the way the game should be. You should have to shoot.
At this point, I'd like you to recognize your
Absolutely.
seniors. If you could go through those 4 players and say something about them, okay?
Yeah, I think I'm going to start with Hunter, okay? So Hunter Novak, he's really grown on me. He's a guy that does a little bit of everything. And I think you need players like that just have a positive attitude and are unselfish with their role. No job too big, no job too small. He'd help run the clock. He'd help rebound. He'd help be a passer. When he got in there in games, obviously he was an energy boost for both our guys and the crowd. And he's just a great kid. I'm really going to miss him, okay? He's really grown. I've enjoyed seeing him in school, in the hallway. He stops by all the time, and he's a true sports fan. He understands not just basketball. He likes baseball, football. He's a fun kid. I'm going to miss having him around, obviously in school once this year ends, but also in basketball. Carter Zemer. So here's the deal with Carter, right? Tears his ACL last year and misses all of summer, right? So, he not only missed basically his whole junior season, he missed all season of his senior year and then football as well. And then he came back and he worked hard every single day, okay? It kind of came down to a couple things defensively that maybe were kind of the reasons why in general he didn't get the playing time. But at the same time, great kid, positive attitude. It would have been really easy for him to throw in the towel and kind of have that pouty, poor me mentality. He practiced hard every single day, and I know right at the end in the locker room, you always want to be able to look somebody in the eyes and truly appreciate them, okay? And I truly appreciate how good of a teammate he was multiple times. I don't see it when I'm coaching, but you watch the game back and watch your stream back, and he's cheering, right? It would be really easy for him to just stand up, pout, and clap. But great kid, and I respect him as a teammate. I know he's one of the more well-liked guys to have around. Corey McCoy. So this was an interesting year for Corey. Something a lot of people don't know about him is he's a full-time college student. Okay, so we had to adjust. He missed practices here and there. He's obviously he was in Alex, so we had to be really creative with that. But he put in extra work. Okay, not only at his house, but on Mondays he'd be going to the morning open gyms and things like that. So I just appreciate the effort and the grit that he played with. We use the phrase blue collar, right? We're not good enough to just outplay people and shoot and rebound, that kind of thing. So we need grit, and he was a player that brought a lot of grit for us. And I think played his best basketball kind of towards the end of the year. He loves playing here. He played a really good game against Osakis, and his minutes were as big as anybody. So I just appreciate and will always remember him as a blue collar player. That's what we want. And then lastly, Matthew Waring. That's a tough one for me. A 4-year starter, a guy that, when he first came in as a freshman, he was guarding the Strites and the Logies and all these guys as a 15-year-old kid, just due to injury and everything like that. And he was kind of thrown to the wolves a little bit. But he's always embraced, and he's one of the best defenders. I don't think people really respect and appreciate how good of a defender he is. He's guarding everybody's best player pretty much every single night, or one of them, and he's never in foul trouble, right? Great balance, strong kid. And then he's a true leader. You saw that in the fall with the football team. The charisma and the guys kind of gravitate towards him, and finds a good balance of being competitive and tough when he plays, but kind of a goofball outside of it. So, I'll appreciate his effort. Not many players, start 4 years. That's going to be a big loss. I'm going to miss the heck out of him as well.
And also, too, to mention that Jay Newbert, who's a junior, but he's over 2,000 points. And, again, he's just got so much talent and still a year to go.
Yeah, and they did a good job guarding him. Jay's a stud. I think everybody knows that. He can score in a variety of ways, and he's so strong and tough. He's one of them games we said our general plan was going to be, okay, we got to take him out for a minute, call a timeout for a minute, to give him one break, and we didn't even give him a break. So I know he's gassed and exhausted, and it's not ideal, and obviously that that just plays a role of depth and everything. But at the same time, I'm proud of him for the 2,000 points. And that didn't go unnoticed, and I got to make sure that I find him before we go, because I haven't said anything. But yeah, that's a big time thing. Only as a junior, but it just shows his consistency and how dang good he's been his whole career.
Well, and again, just to wrap up, West Central Conference champions, 21 wins on the season this year. It was a very good year and entertaining basketball, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good year, right? Conference champs, and we wanted to win it solo. We didn't want to tie. We said that was one of our goals kind of mid-season when we did our goal thing is no, a tie, it counts, but it barely, right? You want to win it by yourself. So I credit our guys to that. And I think we were playing our best basketball at the end of the year. I really do, and that's always the goal. Tonight maybe didn't go our way, and we didn't play perfect or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of our effort and proud of our season. 20 wins is always a goal, and we got to that. Our last goal we didn't get to is to win the section. That's not easy. We're not in an easy section by any means to try to do that. Last thing I want to say, too, before I forget, is our staff. Okay, I got to thank our staff. I thought they had a heck of a year, not only with their own teams to evolve them, which is extremely important. We haven't had a winning record at 3 levels, and this year I think we won 16 C-Squad games, 19 JV games, and obviously 21 varsity games. So I think that's a huge thing that, it's not all about winning, it's about developing, but I thought they did a great job with their team, and then also helping prepare, with practice plans and do little things, scouting, watching film. I thought they were really, really consistent this year with their effort, and they put in a ton of work and deserve, a lot of credit that I feel I'm proud of our program. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited about the season we had. But there's always gradual growth, and there's always more work to be done.